Let me tell you about a conversation I had yesterday with a new friend I just met. We were talking about schools and the education system, which, as you can imagine, is quite a complex topic. These days, with the sheer amount of information and commentary that's available, we have access to a lot of different perspectives that we can bring into a conversation. And I recall in that conversation yesterday morning, we sort of got caught up being more and more entrenched in our own perspectives and our differences. And in the end, the whole conversation was dominated by those very minute differences between us. When we discuss topics that involves a lot of people or involve society as a whole, we can't draw decent conclusions just from one or two conversations. These subjects are intricate, they're multifaceted, they need a lot of discussion to even scratch the surface. However, it seems we are often caught up, I am often caught up in the heat of a single conversation, and we start to lose sight of the bigger picture, and more importantly, we lose sight of that we need to keep the opportunity to have this conversation across time. And we lose the opportunity because we're antagonized in one single conversation. So what I think we need are mechanisms that helps us move past getting stuck. Things like people around who can notice that things are going nowhere and move us on, or having time limits in terms of discussing a certain topic or a certain subject and then moving on from there, or having awareness about cues to ourselves that we are arguing for argument's sake rather than actually having any decent conversation. So these are what I call conversation skills. And unfortunately, I never learned them growing up, and we don't teach them. Our training on how to have productive conversation hasn't evolved past what it was like, say, 100 years ago. And even though the topics that we discuss these days are so much more complex than what it was 100 years ago. So on social media and on the internet, you see a lot of this. We see conversations often spiral out of control, and you can watch videos where people glorify and people celebrate the fact that there's this argument that goes out of control. So social media is not good at handling multiple threads of conversation and weaving them into a coherent whole. Instead, we get deeper and deeper into one perspective or one conversation, and sometimes we are bombarded with exactly the same clip multiple times. So big creators on these platforms don't grow by learning and evolving and presenting variety. They grow by sticking to a position that riles people up and then building up an audience that feeds on that single perspective, which is unfortunate. We end up missing out on the richness that comes with diverse viewpoints and having thoughtful, evolving conversations across time. So let me know what you think of this. Do you notice, like I do with myself, that you get stuck in conversations and then when you reflect back and you wonder just how you got stuck? So your opinions matter to me because I like to spend the next 5 to 10 years doing a lot of work on this, building communication mechanisms within our community that is able to promote healthy conversations. I'd like my kids to grow up in a world where conversations as a whole are a lot richer and a lot more nourishing than what we see now. Right? Appreciate your comments.